Welcome back to Beat the Bookie, the podcast we bring you each and every week on the upper tier from the Dynamo Podcast Network on YouTube. Head over there, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. This is the show where we try and win you a few quid, although last week we failed absolutely miserably. We couldn't get anything over the line last week with the results that came in. But we got there in the end with one or two that came in. But here's this week's picks. Let's start first of all, run down through the fixtures. 12:30 lunchtime, Man United versus Everton. Massive one for Ollie to get over. We'll wait and see how that goes. Interesting tips there, a couple of interesting picks that we could pick out from it. Also moving on, then you got your 3 o'clocks. You got Leeds versus Watford, Chelsea versus Southampton, Burnley versus Norwich, and Wolves versus Newcastle. And rounding out the day, 5:30 this evening, Brighton versus Arsenal. Massive game for Potter and Mikel Arteta. Should be an absolute belter of a game. Moving on to tomorrow, your 2 o'clocks, Crystal Palace versus Leicester, Tottenham Hotspur versus Aston Villa, and West Ham versus Brentford, which is going to be an absolute belter of a game, I think. And rounding out with a top of the table clash, 4:30, your Super Sunday, Liverpool from Anfield versus Man City, sure to be one of those 6-pointer title contenders. Let's get into some of the mix, or some of the picks, I should say. A lot of the guys went into hiding this week after last week with some of the picks that they made. But Mark, our resident referee, came on and he told us Ronaldo, Lukaku, and Chris Wood anytime, 5-1. Nice little tidy bet there. He also gave us another anytime. He loves these anytime goal scorers. Ronaldo, Lukaku, Aubameyang, and Salah anytime, 18-1. Again, another nice one. I went down through a number of the fixtures because, of course, the guys went into hiding. So I said I'd pick something from each of the matches. Liverpool to win 2-1, and Salah first goal scorer, 33-1. Salah absolutely banging form, so it could be a nice one there. Bruno to score first for United, but Man United to lose 2-1 to Everton is 100-1. Has to be worth a couple of euro, doesn't it? Brighton versus Arsenal, a 1-1 draw, but Aubameyang first goal scorer, 22-1. Let's see, can Arteta get over the line there, or will Potter have enough to have worked them out to get a draw or a potential win? West Ham versus Brentford. This is a great little bet. Both teams to score, but West Ham to win, 13-5, nearly 3-1. Well worth a few quid. Leeds versus Watford. This is a great bet. I think this is great odds this week. Both teams to score, but Watford to win, 6-1. Then rounding out them, Burnley versus Norwich. Burnley to win both halves is 9-2. I think this is a real good opportunity. I think Burnley are going to have too much up front for Norwich, and I just don't see where Norwich are going to get the goals from. I think it'll be another tough day at Turf Moor for Daniel Farke and his team, who are in serious trouble already. Chelsea versus Southampton. I looked at this. Chelsea, the half-time handicap -1. So Chelsea to try and ping 2 goals in the first half against Southampton. Tough call with the form that Southampton have been in, especially against the bigger clubs have been grinding out draws. But it's 15-4, nearly 4-1. So it has to be worth a punt. Spurs versus Villa. Very simple one to pick here. Spurs absolutely in dreadful form. Villa in good form. Both teams to score and Villa to win, 5-1. And then rounding it out, then Palace versus Leicester. Both teams to score and Leicester to win, 4-1, which I think is a real good bet. I think Palace showing a bit of form at the moment, and I think Leicester kind of struggling, but should have enough for Palace. But as always, going to Selhurst Park, a very, very tough place to go. We also got a couple of bets in from Ted from Retrotainment Recast. He's also been making some appearances on the horror show on the network on the slab. Let's go through them. So obviously gives us his Man United bet builder each week. So he's gone for Mason Greenwood to score any time, Man United to win, no red cards in the game, and both teams to receive a card in the game. So both teams to have a yellow card. 6-1, fiver returns you 35. Well worth a punt on that one. And then he always gives us his accumulator as well. So he's gone for Watford versus Leeds, which I think is a good shout. I'm thinking that myself. Arsenal to beat Brighton, Leicester to beat Palace, and West Ham to beat Brentford. And that works out at 48-1. Seems like great odds for that. I think 2 of them or 3 of them I agreed with, and the Arsenal one I think will be a draw. So I wonder if you went for a draw on the Arsenal game, probably boost your odds a little bit more. But as always, this has been your Beat the Bookie show. This has been your tips. Hopefully this week we land a few obvious after last week's disappointment because we were on a bit of a roll. As always, head over to YouTube, Dynamo Podcast Network, for all the episodes of the show. Also, look out later on this evening. We're going to be dropping our our Liverpool versus Man City preview. And we're also going to be dropping a little remembrance piece on the career of Sir Roger Hunt, who sadly passed away this week. Until next time, it's been a pleasure.